Harley-Davidson is one of the most American brands on earth. So why are some of the most respected Harley builds in the world now coming out of Japan? Some riders believe the Japanese are building better Harleys than Harley itself. Not more comfortable, not more powerful. Better in the way that actually matters. More honest, more pure, more true to what this machine was always supposed to be. Today we put that claim to the test. America versus Japan. You are going to pick a side. Let's go. Which one looks more like a real Harley to you? The machines, face to face. A 2026 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Limited. Milwaukee 8 117 with variable valve timing. Touchscreen infotainment. Premium audio. LED lighting throughout. Semi-active suspension. Cruise control. 820 pounds. $28,000. The most technologically advanced Harley-Davidson ever built. Ride it from New York to Los Angeles and arrive feeling completely fresh. That is not an exaggeration. That is the engineering point. Think about what that means for a moment. A motorcycle that you can load with luggage, seat a passenger, connect your phone, play music through a premium speaker system, set your cruise control, and cover 500 miles in a day, arriving without pain, without fatigue, without drama. That is a remarkable achievement. 20 years ago, that level of comfort and technology didn't exist on any touring motorcycle at any price. Today it comes standard on a Harley-Davidson. Now, a zero engineering custom, hand-built in a small Japanese workshop. Pre-1984 Harley-Davidson engine chosen specifically because it has mechanical character the modern motors have refined away. Rigid gooseneck frame, fabricated entirely by hand. Bare metal bodywork showing natural oxidation. No paint, no chrome, no screen. Kickstart only, around 400 pounds. $30,000 if you can get one. The waiting list is 4 to 5 years. It has been displayed in art galleries and museums worldwide. That bare metal isn't accidental. It isn't budget. It is a deliberate philosophical statement. The oxidation that develops on a zero engineering build over time isn't rust, it's history. It's the machine aging with its rider. It's Wabi-sabi made metal. Every scratch, every mark, every change in surface tells the story of where that motorcycle has been. A factory Harley hides its age under clear coat and chrome. A zero engineering custom wears it openly. Has Harley become too comfortable? Drop yes or no, we're keeping score. The builder, corporation versus craftsman. Behind every motorcycle is a philosophy. Behind the American Harley is an engineering team of hundreds, a board of directors, shareholder expectations, and a strategic plan that has to justify itself in quarterly earnings reports. That is not a criticism. That is the reality of building motorcycles at scale. Every feature added, every pound of weight, every dollar of cost goes through that filter. The result is extraordinary. But it is designed by a committee for a market. That market is real, and its needs are real. The average Harley-Davidson touring buyer is looking for reliability over 50,000 miles. They want to take their partner on long weekend trips. They want technology that keeps them connected and safe. They want a machine that starts every morning without negotiation. Harley's engineering team delivers all of that every year to tens of thousands of customers. That is not failure. That is a different kind of mastery. Behind the Japanese custom is one man, Shinya Kimura, founded Zero Engineering in Okazaki, Japan in 1992. His philosophy came from Wabi-sabi, the Japanese concept of beauty and imperfection, and wa, the harmony of all elements. He doesn't build for a market. He interviews each customer. He understands their life, their riding, their personality. Then he builds one motorcycle that is the physical expression of that conversation. Brad Pitt commissioned one. Art collectors worldwide commissioned them. And they waited years. Critics called his work running art. That phrase has never been used to describe a dealership order form. Kimura didn't invent the Harley-Davidson. He didn't improve its engine or make it faster. What he did was more subversive than that. He looked at an American icon and saw something its creators had stopped seeing. He saw that underneath the brand mythology and the marketing and the decades of cultural weight there was just a beautiful machine. And he decided that machine deserved to be seen clearly, without decoration, without distraction, just the truth of the thing. Now here is the uncomfortable question. In 1903, William Harley and Arthur Davidson built their first motorcycle in a small wooden shed in Milwaukee. Two men, one machine, one vision. Which of these two worlds, the modern factory or the Japanese workshop, is closer to that original spirit? Are Japanese builders preserving Harley culture better than Harley itself? This is the real question. The philosophy. Addition versus subtraction. American Harley culture is built on addition. More displacement, more chrome, more power, more presence, more sound. The American custom tradition, West Coast choppers, stretched baggers, drag strip cruisers make statements. These machines announce themselves from a block away. They demand to be seen. And that is entirely intentional. A culture that believes a motorcycle should be impossible to ignore. There is real power in that philosophy. The American custom tradition produced some of the most visually stunning motorcycles ever built. The Indian Larry chopper, the Jesse James West Coast chopper's aesthetic, the modern bagger with its stretched frame, slammed suspension, and speaker system loud enough to rattle windows. These machines are rolling self-portraits. They tell the world exactly who the rider is before a single word is spoken. That communication, that statement, is a legitimate and powerful use of a motorcycle. Japanese custom culture is built on subtraction. The same philosophy that produced bonsai, that produced the Japanese tea ceremony. Perfection is not achieved when there is nothing left to add. Perfection is achieved when there is nothing left to remove. Strip the chrome. Remove the paint. Take away the comfort padding. What remains? The engine, the frame, the mechanical truth of the motorcycle. And that truth, raw, honest, undecorated, turned out to be one of the most beautiful things in motorcycling. The Japanese found it and showed it to the rest of the world. The fascinating thing is that both philosophies use the same machine as their starting point. Same V-twin, same general architecture. One culture adds until it becomes a statement. The other removes until it becomes a truth. And the global motorcycle community has responded to both, which tells you something important. There is no wrong answer here. There is only which answer is yours. Does a touchscreen belong on a Harley? Is modern technology making Harleys better or worse? Brat Style, Japan's street-level revolution. Zero engineering is the art gallery. But Japan produced another movement that lives on the street, and its influence spread even further. Brat Style. Founded in Tokyo by builder Go Takamine. Where Zero Style is meditative, Brat Style is aggressive. It takes a Harley, usually a Sportster, and removes everything non-essential. Fenders bobbed, handlebars low and wide, single flat seat, clean horizontal lines, no chrome, no apology. The Brat Style Sportster is a machine that says something specific. It says, I know what this motorcycle is at its core, and I don't need to dress it up. It is light enough to throw into a corner. It is simple enough to maintain in a small garage with basic tools. It has no pretension, no luxury, no comfort padding. It is a rider's motorcycle in the purest sense of the word. And that purity, that refusal to add anything unnecessary, is exactly why it resonated globally. Brat Style is now one of the most copied motorcycle aesthetics on the planet. Builders from Los Angeles to London to Berlin have adopted it. And here is the fact every American Harley traditionalist needs to sit with. The most globally influential custom motorcycle aesthetic of the last 20 years, built on a Harley-Davidson engine, was created in Tokyo. Not Milwaukee, not California. Tokyo. The Japanese didn't just love Harley. They exported it back to the world in a form nobody had imagined. Brat Style started in Tokyo and conquered the world. Did you know that? Does it change how you see Japanese Harley culture? The verdict, which side wins? The Japanese are not building better Harleys. They are building more honest ones. Better implies one replaces the other. More honest means they revealed something the other obscured. The modern American Harley is extraordinary, technologically sophisticated, genuinely fast, built to last hundreds of thousands of miles. Nobody should apologize for owning one. But the Japanese did something the factory never could. They asked the question the factory cannot ask. What is this machine really underneath everything we put on it? And the answer they found was simple. A beautiful engine in a beautiful frame. It doesn't need anything added. It needs to be seen. Here is the deepest truth. Only a truly great machine could survive that kind of reinvention and come out still recognizable. The V-twin didn't get lost in translation. It got elevated. It belongs to everyone who loves it. Which would you actually own, the 2026 Street Glide Limited or a Zero Engineering Custom? One is ready today. The other has a 5-year wait. Drop your answer. American engineering. Japanese philosophy. The same V-twin at the center of both. The debate was never about which country builds the better Harley. It was about what a motorcycle is actually for. Is it technology? Comfort? Art? Freedom? Truth? Your answer determines which side you're on. Drop it in the comments right now. American or Japanese? Factory or workshop? Chrome or bare metal? And one last question, has Harley-Davidson itself lost touch with what made it great? Or is the 2026 lineup the best expression of that original vision yet? Subscribe to Roadside Harley. See you on the road.